Okay, you may start.
Okay, in three, two, one. Okay, right. A very good day to our fellow audience, and a very welcome to our forum debate today. So, for today's motion, we have here that this House believes that Malaysian teachers should be strictly prohibited from involving students in social media, regardless of, social media content, regardless of consent. Arguing in favor, we have Mr. Ikram, and on the opposing side, we have Ms. Hemawati. So each speaker will present their arguments followed by a rebuttal round, examples, audience interactions, and concluding statements. So yeah, let's get started. So I
Uh,
believe Mr. Ikram can get started.
okay, yes. Hi, everyone. So I'm Ikram on the proposition side. So thank you, Miss Hema. Okay, what I would like to say about this topic in era where we know digital platforms be applied in our education. Okay, where it's related on we can say or I can say dominate especially on communication on digital platforms where the teachers and also the parents and can be as students and also the community where we use the digital platform to have our communication. Okay, so the line between professional conduct and personal interest, or we can say personal branding, is increasingly blurred in this kind of issue. So what I can say, me as a teacher, not just educators, need to know about the moral examples that they need to show when they act or conduct any kind of classroom session or any kind of digital in any kind of educational purpose, especially when they are using the digital platform. Okay, so the teacher itself need to be a role model for them, for the students, for the community, where it we can say the digital platform it will use for every single people in the world, doesn't matter what kind of their background. We don't know if they are students or something, just like from we can say good and bad people in social media. Okay, where we can say when using this kind of digital platform, teachers involve students in social media content, for example. So for sure it will appear or occur the issue on their consent. Okay, about the student consent, where it opens the door to every single world about their exploitation, manipulation, and also unintended psychological harm about a students when the teacher itself or the educator itself doesn't care about their consent, especially on the students. Okay, so we have seen recent incidents in Malaysia where it's related students were recorded without the understanding of the purpose after the like aftermath, or we can say the consequences when they've been recorded in the social media by their teacher, or we can say they are from their educator. So about the issue is where one viral video from early 2024 last year, a teacher mocked a student's pronunciation on TikTok. So for this kind of issue, is really bring up the for sure will bring up the backlash about education in our system. Okay, it we create a lot more of negative impact or negative consequences that will give affected on the student itself. Okay, about their development. Okay, so about the TikTok itself, where we know the social media itself, though intended as a humorous one in the social media, but then it led to public backlash and also emotional distress for the child. So every this will really need to be obtained, okay, in this a kind of education system, because children cannot fully comprehend the permanence of digital footprints, or we can say the digital usage. Okay, and about the consent can be coerced or uninformed in a classroom about the proper system on how they need to know about the digital world. Okay, how they be like and so on, etc. That related to the usage. Okay, and I can say strongly about that. this kind of argument about the digital platform need to be think about more about the prohibition on using on students, okay, in any teacher generated social media content. For let's say too many influencers nowadays, so this kind of issue need to be thinking in wisely, okay. So that's all from me. So how about you, Hema, Miss Hema? Also, you have that kind of encounter of
Well,
kind of positive that you can see here.
actually, first of all, thank you, Mr. Ikram, for your wonderful sharing on this. I'm so sorry. Okay, right. While I deeply respect the ethical concerns raised by you, and I truly believe that actually we're throwing the baby out of with the bathwater, right? Social media, when talk about social media, when it is used appropriately, when it is used ethically and responsibly, actually it can be a very powerful tool for us to, one second, I'm so sorry. Actually, it can be a very powerful tool for us to, conduct teaching and learning process. Okay, right? So, in this context, actually, thinking about it becoming a powerful educational tool, actually it fosters engagement, uh, showcases students creativity, students ideology and comprehension, and they get aligned along with the development of technology, incorporated learning and so on. So in this context, what I'm trying to say is, when we can learn something through online platform, it's the virtual platform is considered as a very huge platform in where we can learn a lot of things from various of people from various parts of the world with fingertips
So,
power, right? So here, I believe it fosters engagement, showcases students' creativity, and connects the classroom learning, teaching and learning process to authentic world context, right? So I truly agree. There have been a few cases of misuse of social media, but uh, the solution cannot be isn't a blanket of prohibition, meaning to say prohibition. I don't think so. It will become the greatest solution in this context, right? So it's education, right? It's education, regulation, and actually digital literacy, in which I believe in this upcoming world, all of us are growing in a technology incorporated world. So this is a crucial thing that we need to have, right? So on the part of the education ministry, they already mandate certain concern and outlines boundaries, ethical boundaries. So in this context, when it is look up into the ministry point, I think we have to train the teachers. They have to be trained well, and
mhm,
they also have to be trained well to use the digital tool appropriately, and also what do we say that to respect the lines that the ministry has curated, right? So
mhm,
we cannot be banning everything entirely. So moreover, when we talk about 21st learning, 21st century learning models, students are actually content creators. We have the student centered classroom. So
mhm.
I think they have already online. So our job is just to make sure that they are on the right path. We have to guide them and not to shield them entirely, right? So now, looking up into my point, to conclude, I think we should empower and not to restrict. What says you, Mr. Ikram?
Hmm. Regarding about this one, even though you're saying about the on how we can educate the people about this issue, but
Sorry, come again.
from the educator side's of perspective, from the educator's perspective side, what I can say is like they need to think about how to say, the legal and ethical framework that need to be applied from each educator in the classroom. Okay, to show about themselves. to show to the people, okay, because we use this kind of digital platform, okay. So they need to think about first one about the Child Act. For in 2001, the Child Act 2001 stated that about the student dignity and protection. Okay, we can say, or I can say about PDPA 2010, and also about the teacher professional ethics. Okay, about the codes, where it all of this stress about the student dignity and protection, because we want to take care of the student development. Okay, about their growth. Okay, in this kind of real world. Okay, where we know digital will have a kind of cruelty. Okay, so what I can say about as an educator, or we can say a teacher, need to know about when they want to post. Is it on the social media? Okay, is it trigger the concern about the students? Okay, they need to think about when they need to involve a student, so they need to think about the risk. Okay, any kind of risk about the mental of the students, about their consent and so on. Okay, so about all of this, they need to think about this kind of codes of ethics, which is related to 2001, 2010, and also about the professional ethics about a teacher and a student. So they need to think about, uh, is it their act will risk of violating these three codes of conduct. Okay, even a light-hearted like video can become a viral. Some people will perceive this can or assume maybe this is bad, maybe this is good. We don't know about the real world of digital. Okay, so the teacher itself need to think about this kind of act before they do or post on the social media. So just like how we can say about cultural implication, okay, they need to think about it, especially in conservative rural areas, okay, especially in Malaysia, where we know have kind of issue where a students, I can say a girl, dancing on Instagram, okay, do a video of her dancing on the video on the in her social media. So we need to think about it, okay, have a two perception there, is it a good or bad one. So in this kind of real world, must be both. The both, I mean, from the good and bad, it exists in this kind of real world. Okay, even on the social media itself. So uh, for sure, this kind of act of this child, okay, post on the about her dancing on the social media, for sure, from the negative perspective side, yeah, her family will think in a negative way, negatively. Okay, just like bring a shame to the family. Okay, so the teacher itself in the classroom need to have their power, to show their power, to teach the students, just like you say, to guide them, to educate them about the responsibility on how to have a safeguard about a student's social image on their social media, and also they need to think about their future, about the consequences will happen. Okay, it either need to commercialize it or not to post in social media, or to be as an educator, be as an education purpose. Okay, so so this kind of thing need to think wisely from the educator perspective side, where they need to be as a role model. Okay, and importantly, just like being said or being stated by our Minister of Education, Fadil Nasidik herself also condemned about this trend, okay, about this student, about this girl from the rural area issue, okay, about she also emphasized that about this issue, the teachers must be the guardians, okay, about the moral behavior for the student. Doesn't matter what kind of religion, either the student itself need to study about Islamic studies or moral studies. Doesn't matter what kind of their religious background, they need to know about this kind of moral behavior, because any kind of religion will make a person to take care of themselves. Okay, so regarding to this issue about digital content or digital platform, they need to think about to do as education must, I mean, in education way, or be as a student, you need to do uh, as a learners, okay, as a good behavior, show the good images rather than be the digital entertainers show on the bad side more, okay. So that's what I can see from my side. How about you, Miss Emma?
Okay, talking about this content that you have spoken about, right, Mr. Ikram? Uh, I hear you, and of course, I don't deny the moral duty, right? But talking about teachers, they can also be the digital mentors, by prohibiting all social media use with students also remove the chances. We have to bear in mind, okay, it removes the chance to model responsible online behavior. School is a platform where we teach and mold people to become a better citizens in the society. So I think a dance challenge video done with a concern and cultural sensitivity actually can build community and promote school spirit, right? And we can take it in a very positive manner. On the opposite side, not to take a look as it's a disgrace for the family or for the society. When it is done right, it will become something beneficial for the society, right? I've seen countless of examples in the sense of where school students, they use Instagrams and TikToks for sharing achievements, project works, even digital storytelling. This kind of things actually bringing pride to the society, bringing pride to both students and the parents as well. So we cannot deny the power of using social media as a digital learning tool in order to perform higher ranking educational values, right? So blanket bans discourage digital innovation in education, right? So I think we should advocate better uh, monitoring, clearer SOPs, and digital citizenship training. So, meaning to say, we as an educator, we have to provide them with appropriate skills and knowledge and moral values that we need to instill into them in order for them to become a better, responsible uh, online users in the future. So instead of shutting the door. So now back to you. Um, what says you about our next discussion?
Oh, sorry. Okay. About the next one, just like on how we want to imply this one, how we want to apply, and we want to guide the teachers, educators, the communities, the people itself. Okay, so let's say about the issue for upcoming one. Okay, just because what I can say, I do see a lot of negativity that will be the consequences after this if we do agree about it. But then for sure, will we have some kind of solution about it. Okay, so about the issue that I want to say about the usage of the digital platform in education, where we know, is it possible to be regulated? As you say, regulated use sounds ideal, but real life implementation sounds messy about it. Just like, who will verify the consent on the social media? We don't know who will cater that kind of video content, okay, for the people, okay, because we don't know about the real world in the digital platform, okay. uh, but then we need to think about the student itself, okay. Is it the students genuinely free to say no if their teacher take the video without their consent, okay. If we can say, if this kind of digital learning will be applied in future, okay. If is it the students genuinely free to say they don't want, or they want to involve in this video just because they want to take care of their privacy? We don't know about it. So this kind of issue need to think wisely for to apply this kind of learning. Okay, so because what I can say about the content, or we can say the content, just like maybe in the social media can be misinterpreted or misused by the strangers in online. Okay, just like I said just now. Okay, because it's not just about the teachers itself need to think about it, because the teachers need to aware also for the outcome will appear if they share their students how to say identities in their own social media. Okay, because it's actually I would just want to talk about the public reception about this issue. Okay, because we cannot gamble or juggle this kind of issue or implement this kind of learning. Okay, okay, without the student welfare, because a video might go to well, but then might go bad. We don't know, because we need to think as wisely about our national education philosophy, where we need to think about the holistic development. Is it really aligned with this kind of new learning, or it just bring the viral fame? Because our national education philosophy not allow us to viral fames. Okay, just not to bring the viral fame. We need to have a kind of development on holistic for each student. What do you say about this on how to overcome this kind of issue?
Right, Mr. Ikram, I think point taken. But
Mm,
then again, are we going to ban students from the newspaper, from the journal articles, from the school plays, from the public performance? Because those are public, it is exposed as public. So when we talk about it, I believe that the same ethical framework can be applied online. So in this context, actually, the ministry has already stepped in with clear SOPs. Rather than prohibiting, well, why not we require the teachers to submit digital content for a review purpose, or use private classroom based platforms. For example, maybe when they wanted to share something educational, rather than they put it for a public view, maybe they can use a platform such as Google Meet for them to share it with a particular group or
mm,
class of
mm,
people. So actually, I believe that the process can be fixed. We are not going to eliminate the potential of the students by banning all the access for them, in which I believe it is their right to have all the access to the digital tools in order to obtain learning or knowledge. So I think we should be fair and square in this context. And I'm so sorry.
mhm.
1 second. I think in this context, we have to be fair and square by providing them equal opportunity to learn through online platforms, through social medias as well,
Mm.
right? So now, how about Mr. Ikram? Can we see it in the other point, right?
Okay. So about the next one, from all the discussion that I've been pointing out just now, I just want to give you some example, which is a real life example about what have been studied on about it happened where you say from the Minister of Communication, okay, Fahmi Fazil. He said that in March 2025, he also want about the we can say make a statement about he make a statement against teachers using students for online content for their own individual purpose, okay, rather than the education purpose. Okay, because he also citing that potential misuse of by the sexual predators in online social in online platform. Okay, just like I said just now, he also explicitly said that if a teacher is also social media influencer, they need to think or they need to act on how to find other type of their content, okay, for their individual social media, okay, their own. I also found out by UNICEF in 2024 report UNICEF found out in the report for Malaysia, okay, that 37% of students felt anxious when their images were shared online without their clear understanding, okay, of where it will be posted. Okay, especially in their classroom. It happened like that. Okay, this kind of red flags Okay, it's not that this kind of signs is also, it also shows that kind of sign of red flags, or we can say this not can be something like, so it's be taken easily about this issue. Okay, what I can say to support my evidence on the real life examples. How about you, Haim?
And yet,
Mm,
there are certain research by MCMC in 2023, actually. It showed roughly about 68% of Malaysian youth, they
mm,
use social media for educational enrichment, right? And collaborations. I think rather than we fear it, we must actually, again and again, I'm emphasizing we should teach them on how to use it wisely. And being a teacher, they are in a very prime position to do that. No, it all depends in the hands of the educators on how they want to align the students to become a wise and responsible users of social media, and for the sake of betterment in learning and obtaining knowledge processing, right?
mm,
So also, if I'm not mistaken, a 2024 UNICEF Malaysia report found that 37%, uh,
mhm.
as how you mentioned just now, they felt anxious when their images were shared online
Yeah, yes, I
without an
mentioned.
appropriate
Mm,
understanding of where it could be posted and so on, right? So to
mm,
avoid this, I believe that perhaps way before a teacher conduct a teaching and learning process through social media platform, students they have the whole right to know what is the purpose of the video being made, what is the purpose of the content being made in online platforms. So this will give them a clear picture, and perhaps we can reduce the anxiousness, right? So now, um, let's not underestimate our students' capacity for
mm,
agency, especially when we guide by trained professionals. As I mentioned earlier, it's
mm,
not about only teachers to get training. The teachers, when they get appropriate training, automatically they will apply and imply
to the
the
student.
training to the
Mm,
students, and
yes,
somehow we are going to create a responsible
to the
social media user
mm,
in the future or in the
mm,
current time. This is how we are going to take the things now.
mm,
um, let's come to a conclusion about this.
mm.
Mr. Ikram, uh, what you could say on behalf of you.
Okay, regarding about this issue that we've been talking about, to conclude from my point, to conclude this is not about limiting the creativity, just like you say. Okay, we cannot limiting the students' creativity because we don't know for upcoming generation for sure they will be advanced more than us. Okay, but then uh it's about upholding a sacred trust. Okay, just like the teachers must have a moral, okay, legal and ethical responsibilities in their teaching classroom. Okay, in their classroom. It doesn't matter in their classroom, but actually at outside of the classroom too. Okay, when students appear in a teacher public content, even with a consent for sure, the student itself will have that kind of positivity feelings. Okay, when their teacher do appreciation on their own social media about a good ethical, a good achievement, a positive one about their students. Okay, but then we need to think about how we can expose them on the risk that they cannot fully comprehend. For example, about the sexual predators issue. Okay, but then we need to think about the cost is too high, or we need to provide kind of protection, just like we have kind of collaboration with MCMC. Okay, so we need to think about this one. Okay, but at the end of this, what I can say in conclusion for me, from my side, I do agree and I support the motion from your to apply this kind of learning in future. How about you? Mm.
Right, Ms. Ikram, thank you
Oh yeah,
so much.
yeah.
So, on the part of the ministry,
Mm-hmm.
on the opposing side, to conclude, I would say uh, protection is vital, it is significant. But way before we touch the protection, I think preparation is also significant. When the
Mm.
preparation is right, I believe that things can be done accordingly, appropriately, and neatly, clean cut. Right. So, in this context, rather than a hard no, I think we should offer them the guidance, training,
Mm.
and also the control mechanism. Right, students are digital natives. Students nowadays.
Yeah.
So perhaps for a call of action, I believe
Mm.
from the sides of ministry, maybe we can provide schools a strict guideline for digital
Yeah.
content and social media
Mm-hmm.
use. For example, like just now we have shared that perhaps way before a teacher posts the content, maybe a part of the ministry will work on the reviewing part of the content that they have created way before they can publish it online, right? And then we also should encourage open dialogue between parents, teachers, and students about digital ethics.
Mm.
This is not restricted up to teacher and students relationship. It have to be involved the parents as well, because
Yeah.
parents
Yeah.
also need to be exposed to the versatility of learning through social media platform, right?
Yeah.
And then
Agree. Mm.
finally, I think we have to reinforce the importance of ethical digital behavior and the need for continuous training and vigilance. On
Mm.
this part, I believe that education ministry are currently working on it, and we are trying our very best to come up with the best policy, training schemes, or training framework in which would be the most appropriate one for us to apply in schools, so that it will enhance the teaching and learning process. Thus, it elevates our education system entirely.
Mm.
So, in this context, let's not exclude them from digital expressions. Uh, we should teach them how to navigate it.
Yeah.
And I hope for
Agree.
motion. Thank
Mm-mm.
you. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Mr. Ikram,
Thank you
for the
too, Hema.
fruitful discussion. We had a wonderful discussion, and I also obtained a lot of the knowledge from your side. And I
Fingers
hope
for
I
me.
also
Yeah.
do the same on your plate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all for today. Perhaps we can see
Okay.
for some other discussion. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.